Hey there, boys and girls. Thanks for tuning back into the channel tonight, right here with the Rust Belt Mechanic. So it's been a long work week, but we've got a really fun video here for you, giving a lot of information on a lot of questions that I've been receiving lately about the automotive industry. And the biggest one that we're going to be answering tonight is, why are automotive shops booked out so far? So we're going to go dive into this one. Stay tuned. So the issue right now is you've got your car, you really need to get it worked on. You can't do the work yourself, so you're trying to get it into a shop, whether that be an independent shop, a dealership, or just a buddy down the road who works on stuff. There's a whole lot of issues going on right now that are causing these kind of repair shops to be severely booked out for long periods of time. And we're going to go through a couple of those right now. First thing that I really wanted to point out is going to be the used car market. The cost of used cars is absolutely crazy these days. Used cars right now, they're needing to last people longer because new cars aren't coming out in the market nearly as fast. The shortage of the chips in that part of the market has caused a lot of manufacturers to not allow a whole lot of brand new cars to come out as fast. So therefore, obviously, so many people are still wanting and needing to buy cars, whether it be a necessity or, hey, that's what I do every 2 years. But regardless, people are buying cars. So the used ones are worth way more, and they're trying to keep them going a lot longer also. Now's about the time where I wanted to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, Knuckle Scrubber Hand Soap. So this part of the video today is brought to you by Knuckle Scrubber, which is a new soap that is kind of an affiliate of Toolbox Widget. You guys know that I work with Toolbox Widget and absolutely love them. Check out this new patented soap bar for mechanics that has a pretty much soap that is a really great degreaser around a scrubbing sponge. It's all built into it. Now this thing is really nice. It's a great degreaser. I've been using it for quite some time now. And you're able to get a nice little bit of soap onto your hand and then use the scrubbing pad to scrub in and get you some suds into your actual hands and arms. What I also like about this is this one bar of soap will actually last me, one technician, probably about 2 weeks worth of uses. You can see how much dirt and grime I'm getting up off of my hands here just from working under the hood of the old Duramax. So scrub it there, set it off to the side. There you go. You can see just from about 30 seconds of scrubbing that we've got some pretty darn clean hands. And I don't have that, bad residue or anything all over my hands either. It's a really great product. I'm going to leave the link in the description down below where you guys can check and see where you guys can pick this up at. Another big reason right now, you have to think of what's going on in the world, and that's COVID-19. So right now, a really big thing right here in the US is a lot of people are receiving a lot of funds or extra cash, unemployment benefits, child tax credits, or any other government assistance cash given. And that is helping out a lot with people being able to do repairs on these used cars that they're keeping for a long time. They've got a whole lot of this extra cash that they weren't used to having before, because some of them actually are working and still do have their full-time job. Yes, I do know the COVID relief fund was, made for a lot of people who are out of a job or are in a different job that isn't making as much because of the pandemic. I get that one. But there's a whole lot of people out there who didn't really need the assistance but are getting it anyways. So they're either buying new toys, buying other cars, or getting the old cars fixed. They've got a lot of this extra money around. They're wanting to do lift kits, wheels and tires. Companies like Custom Offsets and different Lift kit manufacturers are just booming right now because of all this extra cash, and these people are wanting to throw it out there to be able to get their stuff fixed. And also, speaking with government, they are driving the cost up for a lot of these things as well. They're making these mandates come along for manufacturers, so their manufacturers aren't getting their stuff up nearly as long. On top of that, inflation is happening, so the cost of fuel is going up, transportation costs are going up, so therefore manufacturers are charging more for the cost of goods and services in their vehicles. So really they're going to be passing those costs down onto you guys, the consumer. Now we'll get out of some of the supply things and let's talk about the shops themselves. One of the biggest issues that we've had in the automotive industry over the last couple of years in general already is the lack of technicians. Right now, on top of that, the COVID benefits given to a lot of people coming out of high school has got them really wanted to go into different fields. So right now they're getting a whole lot of extra benefits to be able to go into certain electronic fields, manufacturing fields, and the automotive industry hasn't caught up on that one. They're not giving a whole lot of incentive to these newer people that are coming out of high school or technical school to want to be automotive technicians. The lack of technicians is only compounded by the issues on the technicians that are actually in the field right now, and the fact that they're not really certified. The technicians right now, they're a lot of the mid-line and younger techs who have come up over the last 5 or 6 years or so. And to be totally honest, within both the independent field and the dealership world especially, there's not been a whole lot of incentive out there for technicians to get really certified. I know I've talked a whole lot in years past and videos past about technicians and the unfair use of manufacturers in using warranty times for paying their techs. Technicians are getting paid horrible amounts of wages. Their labor times and the labor studies are way off in a lot of circumstances. So therefore, these technicians, they're not wanting to get really certified in the newer things because then they're just gonna have to do more warranty work. Down the line, that means warranty work and that means less pay. So therefore, why do they really want to do it? Now on the independent side of things, you don't really have a lot of the warranty times. And if you do, you're dealing with aftermarket warranty companies that pay standard book time anyways. However, there's still not a lot of incentive given there to get a lot of those extra certifications because it's not a requirement in many of these jobs anyways. Already these jobs are not requiring ASE certification because they're just looking for warm bodies to be able to turn wrenches in the first place, let alone requiring them to go get extra skill certifications or whatnot. So there's not a whole lot of extra incentive in there for them to do that one. Now let's look into some of the other reasons behind the desk on maybe you're not able to get your car in because we're already too far booked up with the stuff that we have here because we can't fix it. We don't have the parts. Parts is just a huge clusterfuck right now. Manufacturing went down into the shitter with COVID-19. Many of these manufacturing plants either going out of business, totally shutting down plants for multiple months on end, and just creating a massive backlog of desired parts within the industry. Right now, for instance, if a car is to come into the dealership and needs any kind of real diagnostics or any kind of hard parts that I know it's going to need, I just kind of dread it. Why is that? Because I know after I look at it, it's going to need some kind of parts. And I would say probably 75% of the time that I walk up to the parts counter to get a quote to be able to give to the customer, the parts that are quoted on that sheet say back order. Now, back order is pretty much just another fancy term for I don't know exactly when they're coming in because our supplier doesn't have it in stock on a shelf ready to ship right now. So some of those back orders could be 2 or 3 days, some of them usually 5 to 10 days, and in some circumstances 45 to 60 days or even longer. For instance, we waited on a ECM for a Cummins in a 2015. I waited on that ECM for upwards of 3.5 months. This guy couldn't drive his truck, couldn't do any of his farm work, and obviously couldn't buy another vehicle in that time to take care of stuff. And this vehicle was long since out of warranty, so no manufacturer's going to be able to help you out on that one. He's just hosed and having to wait for the part for that amount of time. Now let's say we do get those parts in. We have to fix your vehicle, and obviously you already know that we have a backlog of customers coming into the dealership. Now, because of both the warranty issues and the parts issues, we're waiting on things to come in, and the customers that are in vehicles that are under warranty that we have to wait so many weeks for, they're in our loaner cars. Now, a dealership might have the availability to get a lot more loaner cars, but there's really not that many out there. For instance, our dealership, we only have 3, maybe even 4 loaner cars available for service customers. That's going to put us at a disadvantage if we get a couple of recalls in, which we're required to be able to offer those to customers who have that for certain vehicles. The new Jeep programs for the Grand Cherokee L, as well as the new Jeep Grand Wagoneers, they're requiring us to have service vehicles ready to go just for those customers alone. So we've got to have all of these service vehicles ready to go for loaners, but we have all these jobs that we can't get parts for. So if you're one of those customers who's going to have a major repair necessary for a shop to work on, you're probably going to end up being pushed out even further if you have to have a loaner. It's just because they don't have them. It's hard for them to get them back, and the customers are in them for long periods of time because of the part shortages and the lack of getting people to work on their cars quick enough. And the last point to this topic that I really wanted to be able to bring to you guys was the issue with warranty practices. There are horrendous issues with bad warranty practices, both in the independent side of the field and the dealership side of things. Obviously, earlier I talked about the dealership side of the field in, not offering technicians really great time on completing warranty work, so therefore why would techs want to get certified to work on them? On top of that, warranties right now are pretty much in the pits. There are a couple manufacturers out there who do give a good amount of warranty for their vehicles, but they're wanting to cover less and less. So that's going to be less money out of your pocket, got to come up with that. And on top of that, trying to get the parts in for those warranty repairs is even worse because of the fact that warranty repairs have to be repaired with parts from that specific manufacturer. Now, on the independent side of things, they deal with a lot more of the aftermarket warranty companies, and they were hurt by the pandemic a lot as well. They're getting a whole lot more claims for the actual services that they're giving because people are keeping their vehicles longer, so therefore using those warranties. So they're becoming very, very stringent and very strict in what they cover on their warranties. If you guys want to get a hold of any of the products from Knuckle Scrubber, I will leave the links down in the description below for you guys to get those. Big thank you to them again for being able to sponsor this kind of a content. It allows me to do a lot more cool videos like this for you guys. Now, obviously in the background, you guys have been seeing this Hellcat Durango sitting on the lift for the last couple of videos and asking me a lot of questions about it. It's a customer's vehicle, and we're going to be doing some brake work on it here coming up. The customer bought the vehicle and really didn't like the red brake calipers that came on it, so we removed them, disassembled, and they're being powder coated right now. We are going to do a video on those showing that, the new caliper paint that comes on them, and reassembling the heavy duty Brembo brakes on those. So that's going to be a video that's coming up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you guys can check that one out and turn on the bell notification so you guys get notified when I come out with cool, awesome content just like this one here today. Thanks for tuning in today, guys, and as always, you guys stay awesome.